Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. YouTubers on the rise, reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
Welcome to another ZX Spectrum vs Commodore 64 comparison video. In this video I'll be taking a look at power drift on said machines. Obviously it was originally a sprite scaling racer? That's how Sean Connery speaks anyway. Released in the arcades in 1988 using their amazing top of the line, I forget which board it was, but it was the pinnacle of sprite scaling. It was absolutely fantastic. Now I want to say you were doom buggies, but I never, to be honest, worked out what the hell it was you were driving, and it was fantastic. I mean, the way the track went, it didn't just, like undulate like a standard racing game. It, think roller coaster. You properly went off the ground around wooden tracks and stuff like that, and it was fantastic. And I have a gameplay of the arcade machine and the PC Engine version, and I absolutely suck at both of them. But why play this game? Well, in this comparison video series, I just like doing arcade machines. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Simply because having a port of your favourite arcade machines back in the day was such a big deal. Now, this was released by Activision in 1989 on Spectrum, the Amstrad, the Commodore, the Amiga, the Atari ST. The PC Engine version is by NEC or Daysmic. I don't know. Watch my video and you'll find out. Anyway, I wanted to do this game because it's it's one of the better fake sprite scaling, because obviously sprite scaling is hardware, and these machines didn't have it. Fake sprite scaling races on both systems, because to be fair, the Commodore sucks at sprite scaling or pseudo sprite scaling games in most cases. Cough. Crazy Cars 2, Crazy Cars 3, Turbo Outrun, and yeah, the absolute stinker of them all, Chase HQ. But this isn't about that. This is about this game, Power Drift, so let's get into it. Right. It's going to be monochromic on this one. Right, define keys, which is how, because Activision did Enduro Racer, which was the first game to kind of properly show you what the Spectrum could do these things. Right, so anyway, you got left, right, brake, accelerate, Q up, A down, left, P right, keys of champions, M, change gear, low and high you've got, like most, Sega racers. Look at this, enter key for abort, C, enter key for abort 2, because of being able to abort twice on 2 different keys apparently is a thing, I don't know why. If you do, let me know. So X. Now, enter key for pause, Z. Right, so here we go. Now this is quite a competent port in the sense that, well, we'll get into it and you can see, right. Keyboard, 0 start. So look, you got all your drivers like you do in the arcade, and you got all your tracks. And at the bottom you can see your cars, your doom buggies. I don't know what the difference is. Look, I don't think I can select. Oh, I can! I can select other tracks. Oh, there we go. Right, be third or best to qualify. So like I said, it's monochromic, but once I get going, look at the speed. And your doom buggy properly doom buggies out. Oh, forgot to change gear. There we go. But yeah, look, pretty good sense of speed. Oh, brake. And obviously the undulation of the road, like it's a proper roller coaster. That was back on ground, because you could tell it was wood then. This looks better now when we're not on that sort of screen. Yeah, this was pretty much, as small as the sprites are and they may look primitive, no other racing games kind of did this effect. Right, what am I? Vegetable, mineral. Sorry. No, position. I don't look at the top. You see, your position is at the top and all the people's icons or avatars are up there. Oi, brake. Straighten up. Back on. I was going to see dry ground. Never mind. Come on. I say he's got aftermarket parts on. Oh look, you've got your gear stick bottom left as well to show you whether you're in low or high. That's kind of a nice touch. Usually it just says low or high. You really don't have to keep it in low very long, do you? Right, I looked up, so I'm bound to crash now. What's my position? I was going to make a really bad sex innuendo joke then. Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not. If you had this on the Spectrum back in the day, I'd love to know what you think. I stand by it and say, I mean, like I said, its sprites aren't as big as, Outrun and stuff like that. It's certainly not as impressive as Chase HQ. Nothing can touch Chase HQ. Chase HQ was on a plinth all by itself. But like I said, the way it does the kind of, you know, roller coaster effect, that's impressive. I think it's safe to say there weren't any other racers, you know, car racers, fake sprite scalers, if you will, on the Spectrum that did that back in the day. Right. Oh fuck, see, that's because I looked at the top of the screen. It automatically goes into low for you first. See, now they're lapping me. Change up. And we lost all sound effects because the race is ending. What was I? Second. Continue. Okay, we'll continue. I lost. Actually, no, let's go. Let's do it. Your score, thanks for that, but I lost, so who cares? Let's try a different track and a different car. Maybe the default car, because I'm assuming it starts with like an all-rounder and the default track. Be third or better to continue. Set your sights low, kids. I do like that. The start comes down and you have the lights. Right. Change. Ooh. I mean, if I played the arcade machine back in the day and then got this on the Spectrum, I probably would have loved it, to be fair, because we accepted these limitations. We knew what, you know, we knew that 48K, or in this case 128K, isn't going to be able to do it. But that's where your imagination filled in the rest of all that shiny goodness, because we just wanted the arcade machine at home. If you've never played Spectrum or Commodore back in the day, you know, that statement will not make sense. If you did, you will understand what I mean about just the ability to have these machines that blew you away in the arcades in some form or another at home, hence the fact that in these comparison videos I keep doing arcade ports, was an amazing thing. Wow, I must be a two-stroke, listen to it. You can just smell the oil burning, can't you? Wait, move. Ooh. I have to say, like I said, it's no Chase HQ, but nothing is. This is really actually quite impressive. Especially like this bit here. I mean, obviously back at Activision they did a lot of Sega ports, didn't they? And like I said, they started this whole, everyone else suddenly realised you could do these sort of Sega sprite scalers. They got the ball rolling with their amazing port of Enduro Racer. Have a comparison of that against the Commodore. I'll give you a hint who wins. It's the Spectrum by a fucking yardstick. But yeah, so everyone else paid attention. So then US Gold got in with Outrun, which is not a terrible port. It's just a bit slow, but I still really like it because graphically it's phenomenal. Your car looks just like the arcade in a green monochromic hue and glory. Hey, there we go. See, I won. So default driver, default track, default win. Anyway, let's have a look at the Commodore 64 version. This is Power Drift, therefore, this is Power Drift on the Commodore 64. Again, it was released in 1989 by Activision. This is obviously a hacked ROM. As you can see at the bottom, it says cartridge version SAM 2011, but that's because this is running on my Commodore 64 Mini. Now, as I said, I picked this game because it's an arcade port, as I picked it on the Spectrum as well. But the Commodore, and I mean, I don't mean to start Playground Wars, despite that being kind of the deal of this series of videos, but Commodore, to my mind, what I've played, granted as an adult, sucked. It, you know, fake sprite scaling racers. This one does not, hence the fact that I picked it. Right, press fire. Right, well, you couldn't see that because I'd entered it, but that was an awkward long load. Right, now, right at the back, you can see, obviously, it's got colour. But look at the top of the screen, yeah? You've got far more racers viewed than it was on the Spectrum. It's a less cluttered screen, for sure. Beneath that, you've got your track, so... left or right, pick a track, up. No, I think we press fire. We highlight the track. I'm going to go with the same one as the... you know, the Spectrum, but you press fire when you're on driver, so I think it's the guy in the middle next to the bird, this one here, and then it automatically, that's cool, doesn't do that on the Spectrum, drops you in the car. Right, you got music in-game, it's nice and colourful, it scrolls pretty well, your sprites are really detailed. I've shifted, I don't know, hey look, he looks back like in the arcade. That's a really nice touch. Right off the bat, I can tell you this is a lot better. Well, far, far better. That's really nice. That's a really nice effect there. Then most of the other, you know, well, pretty much all of the other sprite scaling racers on the Commodore 64. But yeah, nice music in-game. Track was short, but then you would expect that it's Commodore 64. Spectrum just had sound effects, so we let it off. But it did have music on the title screen because it was 128K, but you're not going to compete with the SID chip. However, at least the Spectrum sound effects didn't sound like an angry wasp. When someone overtakes you, that's it basically. That's really cool, although I'm not sure, apart from when you're on the flats, the Spectrum had, you know, roadside obstacles, I'll talk in a minute, down better than this, but this is, and I would say, it's, the rate of when it comes towards the screen was slightly more detailed, but the sprites in this are fantastic, as is the colour. Like I said, look up Chase HQ and look up Crazy Cars 1 and 2 and you'll see what I mean about this being miles above that. Considering I'm playing on the pants joystick, those trees were really impressive. This is actually really, really nice and playable. Listed lap at the top and stuff like that. Again, you've got all the racers. What? Oh, Scheisenberg. That's because I looked up. What? Lap racer. I don't know either if I'm in low or high. Does it list that? I don't want to look up. Because there isn't. That's a bit weak on the Commodore's point. You couldn't stick a gear gauge in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Cool. Look at it listing the people. What position was I? I guess we wait to see if it lets me continue. Was I second? Fuck off. I was second. Right. It's easier than Spectrum, possibly because of the colour. It's easier to see. This is what I'm talking about. This is really, really nice looking. This is really impressive. Again, some roadside optics on the, you know, the ramp would be nice to make it look like a roller coaster, because this looks like it's just floated the tarmac into the air, which obviously it hasn't. This looks really, really nice, right? Safe to say this is kicking the Spectrum's ass. I'm not going to write the Spectrum off in all areas, but if I played this in the arcade and then had this on the Commodore, you know, as a port back in the day, I didn't have a Commodore back in the day, again, hence this series of videos. Or change gear, I would have been well impressed. This would have filled, you know, my brain would have filled in the dots, you know, voodoo carded it and shit like that, but I would have, yeah, this would have been Power Drift for me. This is a very, very impressive port. Now, the elephant in the room is the Amstrad version beats, but I'm not doing Amstrad comparison videos, but the Amstrad, I will one day, Amstrad version, I do Spectrum Commodore because that's what went on at my school, but again, I don't know what gear I'm. The Amstrad version, I'll get to in the end, kicks the Spectrum and the Commodore's ass. I mean, think of it like a colorized version of the Spectrum. So you've got all the stuff I said that is missing from this port, you know, that I did say, you know, was, you know, good, like objects and stuff when you're climbing the ramp. That's all in there, but you've got a better color palette than this. There you go. No, I'm talking about Amstrad in a Spectrum versus Commodore 64 comparison video. Yeah. Wait, what? Is that because I fell off a cliff or something and I just got dropped in? Oh. The thing is, right, your cars look like the buggies from the arcade in this version. On the Spectrum, it's clearly trying to do its best, but when you turn left or right, you look like you're in a fucking Concorde. But anyway, right, let's round up 2 races of each version. Yeah, the Commodore wins, hands down. Better music, crapper sound effects, better colour, better sprites, more, you know, this is a weird phrase to say, but more accurate to the arcade in the overall way it looks, little touches like I'm looking around and stuff like that. Spectrum is better with the sound effects, whether that counts a lot, I don't know, I like sound effects in the game. And I guess the sharpness of the objects or obstacles and stuff like that, and the fact that when you go up and down these roller coaster ramps, you do have detail. Makes it a bit hard to see because it's not colour, but you do have not just the stuff at the side, but you do have, you know, detail in the ramp itself, which is nice. The Commodore version, don't get me wrong, it does that effect really, really nicely, but I would have liked some detail on the actual ramp itself. But hey, I don't know, you know, the limitations of programming Commodore games. So there we go. So yeah, gotta say it, you know, as much as I like my Sinclair ZX Spectrum and I'm a fanboy, Commodore wins this one. Anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think. Did you have either of these versions? Did you have neither of these versions? Or did you just love the arcade? And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.